So, Steven Universe made a movie. So what? I made 5 movies. Sure, they don't have beautiful animation and great songs, but you know what they do have? Pit punches. Well, okay, I guess only 2 of them have pit punches, but like the other 3 have I mean, they have animated mouths, that's something. So yes, this channel is a review channel now, because I didn't know what else to do with it. I tried just random stuff, but I did want this channel to be more than just random stuff, so I'm making it into a review channel. Being that Steven Universe is pretty popular right about now, I thought, hey, I'll just review that. Now, I was originally going to like make up a little setup in my room and make it look really nice, but then my room flooded, so we're in my camper right now, and this is the only spot I can really film it at. I should also mention I had to turn the AC off in here because it was too loud, and now it's about 80-something degrees in here and getting hotter. This is what it sounds with the AC on. As you can tell, I mean, I bet we can do a whole review with just this on and all this stuff. I mean, it's not too bad. It's fine. So hopefully I don't start sweating too much during this review. Now, I'm not the most outspoken Steven Universe fan. I don't write fan fiction or go on Twitter and type all about how I love this show. I'm just more of the casual viewer. And I think one of the reasons why I've never become a huge Steven Universe fan is because, to me, the show is very up and down. Sometimes it will have episodes that will just, like, blow my mind of how good they are, and other times it will have episodes that I'll be like, okay, what the heck was that? I still remember when the show first premiered back in like 2013. I was sitting on my couch and I saw a promo for it, and I was like, wow, that looks really dumb. In my defense, the way they promoted the series made it just look like, oh, goofy cartoon where kid has belly button powers. And I guess at the time, I was going through a phase where I was just like, belly button powers, really? I'm much too old for that now. I actually started watching Steven Universe when Gravity Falls ended. Oddly enough, the episode that really got me into Steven Universe was the crossover with Uncle Grandpa, which is weird because I didn't even like Uncle Grandpa, but I thought the episode was hilarious. Now, I'm going to kind of do this review in 2 different ways. For one, I'm going to do a non-spoilish review, and for 2, I'm going to do a spoiled review, where I just go over like the story and talk about the movie and all that. So, let's begin with the non-spoiled review. Okay, I just realized that I never mentioned this during the whole first beginning of the review, but I don't own anything Steven Universe related, so I didn't know like what to do for like background or anything, but I found this diamond plastic necklace, and so that's why I'm wearing this. I don't even know if you can see it. It might be behind the microphone, but I don't normally wear a necklace. I just want to make that clear. Okay, back to the review. Now, what's my initial thoughts of the movie without spoiling? I thought the movie, well, it's the first time when I saw the movie, I was like, okay, that was fine. I think the problem was, I was on Twitter the night the movie actually premiered, and I didn't watch the movie when it actually premiered, I watched it a little bit later, but so many people on Twitter were like, oh my gosh, this is the best movie I've ever seen, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, wow, it blows my mind, I can't believe how amazing this movie is, and the animation and the songs, and oh my goodness, it's amazing. And so when I went to see this movie, I was like, okay, this has to be that amazing. And it ended up with me just being like, oh, it's fine. It was kind of like one of those situations where someone hypes up something so much that by the time you get to it, you're just like, okay, that was fine, I guess. Now, I have watched this movie about 3 times now, and I'd have to say the second and third time that I watched it, I actually thought were better than the first time. I think it was because I didn't expect as much from it that made it better, if that really makes sense. Overall, I think the movie is really good. Watching it a couple more times, I actually enjoyed it a lot more. Now, I'm trying to think of what to say that won't spoil much for you. Animation. The animation for this movie is really, really good. I think that's expected, I guess, from Steven Universe nowadays, but there's certain scenes that you're just like, hey, that was good. Another thing about this movie is it is a musical, and Steven Universe has always been, in my opinion, up and down with his music. A lot of people are very much like, oh, I love the music in Steven Universe. Me, personally, every time they have a music in an episode, it's either like, oh, that was really good, or that wasn't very good. Sometimes they have like episodes where like a song is the entire episode, and I'm just like, it didn't need to be the entire episode. But this movie does a really good job. It keeps the songs at a good length, and it kind of spreads them out. There's only a couple times where there's like songs like right next to each other, and you're like, okay, I didn't even have to breathe from the last song, and you already hit me with another one. Oh, there's a fly here. I'm gonna say I got that because you couldn't see it anyway. I don't know what else I can really say about the movie without spoiling anything, so I'll just say characters were good, villain was good, everything pretty good, and I'll go through the issues that I have with the movie when I talk about the story, which is gonna start right now. I should also mention this is where I'm gonna start talking about spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie, go watch it, come back now. For your fans. So my brother just walked in, and it was a very odd thing for him to see this, with me sweating in the camper with a microphone and a camera. Back to the review. So the movie starts out with this nice song and title sequence. It's very soothing, and I believe it's sung by the Diamonds. Not 100% sure on that, but probably. One thing that initially surprised me when I was looking at the credits is that this movie is written by like a dozen writers. Normally a movie with too many writers isn't always the best thing. The only one I can actually think of that actually did good was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I think that one had like 10 screenwriters or something, but they were all involved in the show, so it was fine. And I don't know if that all these screenwriters were too, but the movie, it was like, oh, that's unique, that's different. We then see that Steven is now a full-grown teenager, and he's 16 years old. And the funny thing is, when I saw this, initially, I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be weird for me to get used to, because Steven is like this adult pretty much now. But actually, it was when I went back to the original series and watched some clips from that I got weirded out. Like, I was more weirded that Steven was a kid then than I am of him being an adult now. I don't know, it's just dumb. It's weird. Now Steven is sending out a message about how, oh, everything's peaceful, everything's great, the galaxy's great, guys, and I'm gonna go live back on Earth with my friends. And the Diamonds are all like, oh, Steven, please don't go. You're the last thing we have of Pink. Please, Steven, don't leave. And then Steven's all like, yeet, and he goes back to Earth. When Steven gets back to Earth, he meets the Crystal Gems, and they have a big song about basically everything that happened in the series, and all the memories they've had, and la 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 la. Like, you guys remember when that thing happened? You remember how this thing happened? How we got to this situation? And when that happened, I was immediately just like, yeah, something gonna happen to their memories. Because you don't have that in a movie without something actually happening to their memories. It's obvious. I don't know if that was in the trailer. I didn't watch the trailer for this movie because I hadn't actually seen the season 5 finale yet, so I kind of needed to see that before I watched the trailer for the movie, and I never did see the trailer. I went straight into the movie, okay? But of course, everything's great, everything's amazing, and then all of a sudden it's not, because then our villain shows up, Spinel. And let me just say, Spinel is the best part of this movie. This movie is like 20 times better because she's in this movie. She comes with like this drill thing and drills it into the earth. Then she comes and slices the crystal gems in half, and Steven slices her in half, and then all the gems get reset, even Spinel.
If only someone would have seen that coming. A certain me, I saw it coming.
Now, the middle part of this movie is probably the weakest part of the entire movie. It could basically summed up as, oh, they don't have memories, we have to get memory back. Oh, we do this thing, that gem get memory back. We do this thing, Pearl gets memory back. Amethyst get memory back. It's basically all of that, except for I think Garnet doesn't get her memory back initially, but she still becomes Garnet, so it's almost like the same thing. I think the only thing I can really say that was like big that happened in the middle of this movie was this Greg and Steven fusion, which really just comes out of nowhere. And it's also weird because it almost seems like they've done it before, but at the same time they haven't, because I'm pretty sure Greg before that happens is all like, but I've never done that or something, but they're so confident that it's gonna work. So it was a little weird and out of place, but it was like, it happened, so we can't go back from it now. Oh, another thing I can mention about the middle of the movie is that Spinel is the best part of the middle of the movie. She's just hilarious. It's actually kind of sad because her character is meant to be this like really sad, depressed mentally ill, possibly, character. But then through like the whole middle of the movie, she's just like and stuff. So it's actually kind of sad in the end. So it's a little sad, but at the same time, kind of funny. I shouldn't have worded it like that. Now we learned that Spinel was Pink Diamond's play friend, toy person thing, and we basically learned what happened is when Pink got the colony of Earth, she left Spinel on in this garden, and Spinel sat there basically for 6,000 years. And they have this song, and it's really sad. And if you didn't cry, you don't have a soul. All right, that might be an overreaction, but it's sad, okay? Now, a lot of people have like gotten really mad at Pink Diamond because she left Spinel on this floating rock for 6,000 years. But you have to remember, that was 6,000 years ago. Pink Diamond grew as a character. She used to be like this spoiled brat of a diamond, and she kind of grew, I wouldn't really say spoiled, but she was kind of a brat. And then she kind of grew into this better character when she got to Earth. And I'm guessing that we don't exactly know when she pretended to shatter herself, and I'm guessing that probably happened pretty soon after she got to Earth, and she didn't think she should go back to get Spinel or something, because otherwise she might get found out. Like, what if she went back to get Spinel, and people were like, that's weird that Rose Quartz knew that one place that only Pink Diamond knew of. How could this be? Unless they were the same person? I'm just trying to fix some plot holes, okay, complaints that people have about this movie. It's kind of weird though, because right after the song that Spinel has about Pink Diamond and her whole backstory, we get like another song immediately after it, and it comes way too fast, in my opinion. You don't even get like a minute before the next song. It's weird. It almost feels like the Drift Away song, which was the song before it, should have been connected to that song, but it wasn't. Now we're kind of getting to the end of the movie. Spinel shuts off her drill, but then when Steven's like, okay, now we can forget about it, she's all like, but what about me? You can't just look at me and say, oh, well, we forgot that you almost tried to kill us, which is like kind of a good point, I guess. And then Steven accidentally pulls out the thing from before, and she's like, oh, I see. And when I turn my back, you're just gonna slippity slice. Nothing ever happened. And then she turns the machine on again. And basically now everything in the machine comes out. And it is a little weird because before in the movie, they were like, oh, we can't disrupt it because if everything comes out, then the whole Earth is dead. But everything came out now, and the whole Earth is alive. But I think that's because it came out so fast that like most of it just like splattered out. It didn't go directly into the Earth. That's my only explanation. Why am I trying to fix all these plot holes? It's not my job, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What happens is Steven goes to fight Spinel in the big climax. I only have about 2 more problems with this movie. This is one of them. When the people are down in the city, and there's basically what's in a sense lava, I could say, like organic killing material flying down at them, and the people are all like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die, the music doesn't fit the scene at all. It's supposed to be connected to Steven singing like as he's climbing this drill, but it doesn't fit. These people are literally screaming for their lives, and instead of the music being all like, we're all gonna die, the music's just like, It doesn't fit the mood, in my opinion. I know Steven Universe hasn't really had that type of music in it before, where it's like, oh my gosh, everything, we're gonna die, and all that stuff, but it didn't fit in that scene, and that's my only problem with that. Alright, now we've reached the final battle. Steven, I don't think I mentioned this before, but the whole movie, his gem has been acting weird, and that's the thing of the movie, of how he can't fix his gem or anything. And at the end he realizes, oh, it's because I grew up and I changed, which actually, if you rewatch the movie, you notice at the beginning that was like something he said, and I didn't notice that the first time I watched the movie, but I now notice it now, okay? And he changes, and there's like this very beautiful animated sequence of Steven like getting his powers back, and it's really good. Okay, I know I said I only have like 1 more problem left with the movie, but this is actually a problem. I'm sorry I have to say this, but during the fight sequence with Steven and Spinel, she's all like, but you can't just fix something by singing a stupid song. And then literally, like 2 seconds later, everything is fixed. I almost expected like the French narrator to come out and be like, 3 seconds later. And then, boom, everything's just so amazing and stuff. I'd like to see someone make that edit. That'd be funny. As Steven and Spinell are fighting, Spinell realizes, why the heck am I even doing this? Like, what the heck? And she kind of has this breakdown. I think it could have been a little longer. She has the breakdown, and then everything just kind of explodes. And then when we see her again, she's kind of just like, oh, sorry about that, guys, and all that. Now, I don't think I mentioned this exactly, but the drill explodes. Everything is pretty much fine. Steven starts kissing the ground, and it starts growing back, which, that sentence would sound weird if it was about literally anything else. That sentence would sound really weird, but it makes sense in this situation. The diamonds come to Earth, and here we get to the most controversial part of the movie. Every review I've watched this movie, this is the one problem, or at least one of the problems that the person who is reviewing this movie has had. That Spinell goes with the diamonds, even though she says the diamonds remind her of pink. Why would she go with the diamonds if they remind her of the person who abandoned her for 6,000 years? Like, she's just like, oh, you remind me of Pink Diamond, you know, the person who abandoned me for 6,000 years? Yeah, sure, of course I'll go with you. It almost brings down a lot of the movie, especially it kind of brings down what I thought they were trying to do with Spinell and, like, the message of her, of, like, her maybe becoming her own person, because, like, she wouldn't need someone. Because the whole reason she did this was because, like, she needed someone. And I thought the message at the end was going to be that she doesn't really need someone, but she just needs, like, a friend, or I don't know exactly, but that wasn't what I thought was going to happen. It happened, and the movie ends with a pretty good reprisal of a different song they did. And in the end, that's Steven Universe the movie. Does it have problems? Yes. Does the good outweigh the bad? Yes, it does. This movie is overall really good. I'd have to say that if the ending was different, this movie would be like an 8 or 9 out of 10 for me, but instead, it's right about a 7 out of 10 for me just because of the ending. So, I don't know, change the ending, it's fine. I still suggest, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. I mean, I just spoiled everything, but I could not describe the entire movie. So there's probably parts that I missed that were probably important. I guess if there's one thing that we can take away from this review and this movie, is that Steven would have never been able to save the universe if Uncle Grandpa didn't show him how to use his shield. Just saying. Bye!